can see how I traced it out. So make sure this is your grain line. Make sure you mark out your grain line. This is very important. So you can see the tulip sleeve right now. I've gotten the back piece. Now for the front piece, I'll cut my pattern. Instead of tracing it out, I'll just cut the front piece on my pattern. So this is the front pattern. Okay, so this is what you have for your tulip sleeve. So simply match this. You can see that center point I told you. You have to match it up. So if you are making a simple or ordinary tulip sleeve, this is what your sleeve is going to be. All you need to do now is to gather. You are going to run your stitches and gather here. You must gather into to have a puffy tulip sleeve. Okay, we added this 2.5 for puff. So once you gather on this line like this, you have the puff. But this is exaggerated. So since it's an exaggerated tulip sleeve, we are going to open up and exaggerate this sleeve. Okay, and by the time we do that, we'll also be adding more puff to this. So to exaggerate this sleeve now, I'm going to pick the midpoint. This is the midpoint of my sleeve for the back. So I will just come in here of the sleeve and I'll draw a straight line down for my exaggerated tulip sleeve. So I'll just draw it to meet up with this line. I'll call this A, I'll call this B. I'll also come up from this line to meet up with this line. I'm going to cut them off and exaggerate it. Call this C and call this D. Alright, so it's time to exaggerate it. So I will open up this. I'll push in a pepper on it, under. Okay, let me see if I can get a smaller pepper. Okay, let me take off this. At least you understand what I'm doing here. So my exaggeration line, let me use a bigger paper so you understand. So I'll be using this paper for my exaggeration. So what I'm just doing is to make it bigger. Okay, so as you can see right there on the thumbnail, you can see the sleeve is exaggerated. So I'll just apply my adhesive and pushing my sleeve at this end. Okay, so D will come to this end. Okay, so it has to match up with the line. I'm using this line as my border line, which I could have created. Okay, so my exaggeration, it depends on how I exaggerated. I'll use 4 inches for my exaggeration. This is it, 4 inches. So I'll measure 4 inches. Okay, so that is it for the front tulip. So I'll just take it from here. Okay, so because we have Okay, I'll just take it this way. Not to worry. Just take it this way. Okay, it does not affect anything. You can just cut off that point. So I just cut my tulip sleeve now. Okay, so I want to say something about this part of the sleeve, which is the ending part of the sleeve. Okay, so because of the kind of sleeve we have on the thumbnail, for the ending part, you instead of giving a shape to it, just take it straight down, no shape at that point, because it's not a fitted sleeve. So I'll just cut from this point, and I'll just cut here. So this is it, what you are going to have. So by the time you gather, okay, if you put this on, you can see the puff is coming up, and gather, you have that gathered, and you still have your tulip sleeve. Okay, so it depends on how many inches you add here will affect the gather. So if you don't want so much inches to it, you can just do this. Okay, let me show you what you can also do, but I don't want it to form a flake. Okay, there is a way you are going to do this and it will form a flake for you. So let me just show you. Okay, so if you don't want too much gather coming in, because the way it is, the more you extend, the more gathers. You can just come in this way, and you can see how I placed the tulip. I put it like this, making sure what I have on this width. Let me just show you. Okay, let me just do 2 inches because I don't want it, but on the down part of it, remember we took 4 inches, so I can now take my 4 inches and take 2 inches. Instead of taking 4 inches and keeping it straight, you can tilt it a little bit so you don't have that too much fullness on the upper part of the tulip sleeve. So this is it. I put it here and I put it here. Okay, so if you do that, I'll just narrowly take this. Don't go too narrow. Okay, so you can just come up to, and it is okay. Alright, so at this point now, I'm going to reduce this way. It will no longer be the way it was last time. I just reduce it. Okay, so we are done with this. Now we'll come over to the back and repeat the same thing for the back. This is the back pattern. So I'm going to cut from here as well and spread. So remember how we